called the Trans-DOE Task Force.
Yes.
They're trying to identify unknown lost loved ones or remains. They could have been discovered with female gender clothing, but they are misidentified or mispronounced based on what they were wearing. And there's some people that are, androgynous, or they might have a particular DNA that involves with some type of rarity where the person could be both sexes. So have you ever encountered anything like that, or?
I have encountered it in the research I did before working with law enforcement. I've definitely worked with women that had Y chromosomes and those types of genetic anomalies. And it doesn't really make a big difference when you're researching your own family tree, but it could absolutely have an impact if it's an unidentified individual and they're being misgendered. And so their DNA is telling the medical examiner that they're male, for instance, and they lived as a female. Well, of course, they're not going to get identified then, right? So we haven't run into that in our cases yet, to my knowledge, but I was just talking to a detective just before we got on this about a case that appears that way. And so it is something that I think people are much more aware of now. The medical examiners are much more aware of it, the detectives, and they're keeping their eyes open. Whereas I think in the past decades, that wasn't something that most people even considered. And so there probably are quite a few unidentified remain sets out there that haven't been identified for that reason. And they'll just slowly work their way through the system now. And now that there's more awareness, I think that, we shouldn't have as much trouble getting them identified.
I was just going to add that it's something that I think we always keep in mind, even though we haven't seen a case of it yet within Parabon. I think it's something that I always have in mind when I'm working on a Jane or a John Doe, that, it might possibly be somebody who on a census record might have been recorded as one sex, but then, their DNA is telling us that they're something else. Yeah, there's so much more awareness. So, hopefully it won't be as difficult going forward.
Yeah, I agree that we are definitely looking for it. And so it's good that awareness is there. And it's not just us looking for it. The medical examiners that I've been involved with are also aware of that and keeping their eyes open for it.